Good morning and happy Friday. Today I'm coming to you live from New Orleans, and I'm sitting in front of this picture of Cupid, and I have this Feminism AF shirt on. So I thought it would be a good opportunity for me to talk about women and our role in changing the world. So if you're out there, let me know, say hi. Hey Minister, so glad to have you on here today. I was actually thinking about you last night and this morning. We got to do one of these live one day. Hey Erin, good to see you guys. So glad to have two powerful women joining me today. Hey Erin. And as I just said, I want to talk today about women and our role in changing the world. And so I think that anyone would agree and no one would contest the idea that women should have equal rights socially, economically, and politically. But what I really want to talk about today is our roles in relationships and how we show up. Yeah, sure. Let's make this happen, Minister. So our roles in relationships, and I think that when we think about equality for women, sometimes we erroneously or we make the mistake of thinking that this means that we should show up equally or have an equal role in our relationships. And I think that this is one of the ways that women take away or put limits on the possibilities for evolution and change, both in our relationships, in ourselves internally, as well as in the world. And so I really want to speak today about women and our role in relationships in being able to enhance connection, intimacy, and evolution, to be able to really change relationships, evolve ourselves, and really create a shift in the world. So one of the things that I think and I see happening is we already have an abundance of masculine energy in this world. So one of the ways that we see this is in the tendency to be rational, to be intellectual, to be kind of removed of emotion when we're communicating and interacting. And when we do this, when women can actually show up and harness our emotional intuition and intelligence, when we show up in conversations, we can allow for people to be able to connect to themselves and connect to us and connect to what we're saying in a way that's more powerful, because people are not persuaded or people are not influenced by facts and information as much as they are when you can connect to their emotional experience. And so when we as women can allow ourselves to bring emotions into our conversations while still being intelligent and rational, we create more opportunities for connection, persuasion, and influence in the interactions that we have. And this is both personally as well as in professional relationships. And along the same line, I also think that this intelligence can also lead to people needing to feel like they always have the right answers or they always know the answers. And we see this, I see this a lot, especially in intellectual or political debates or conversations, that people are afraid to not know. And people feel like they always have to be the person that has the answers. And this creates a defensiveness or competitiveness and a closed posture if you watch people when they're communicating like this. And when we as women can allow ourselves to not know the answers, we can create and even ask questions, create space when there's uncertainty or when we don't agree with something. We can shift the dynamic in our conversations to bring more discovery, more playfulness, more openness, and this expands the parameters of what's possible not only to be discussed, but expands the parameters on what is possible to be known. So these are two ways that women can shift the way that they show up in relationships and how they communicate. And the third way that I want to talk about is in our body language. So women's bodies are beautiful. That's a fact. And men are already looking at your bodies. We already know that. But we don't use this to our advantage because we get really afraid, which I understand that there's a vulnerability in showing your bodies or communicating with your bodies. But I also think that women can communicate with our bodies in a way that is able to communicate ideas and to be able to be open and also still be respectful and professional. And that we have a power when we don't just communicate through our words, but we communicate through our bodies. And so, you know, the difference that I mentioned before, like if I'm talking to you and I'm like, you know, having this conversation with my arms crossed over my chest, and don't think that it even matters in how people experience what I'm saying or how I'm showing up. And, you know, like, you see this with my eyebrows here, like this is a stance that like we can mirror as women because men do it all the time and it's okay. And like these power postures, like hands on our hips, we do this too. So thinking and being intentional about how you're actually physically showing up in a space, you know, opening your heart, softening your body, creates a totally different experience in an interaction. And when we can not just communicate with our words, but when we communicate with our bodies, people are listening to us. And we have more influence and more power than we could have even recognized before. So I would love to hear what you guys think of these practices, if you try them out. Would also love to bring some of you ladies on here sometime, so let's definitely talk offline about that. And share the video with anyone that would benefit. And I'm also doing a workshop next Saturday helping women, professional women, activate their love potential. So I'll put that in the comments below. And I would love to hear your feedback, how this goes, and I will look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thanks, Erin and Jazz, for joining me today, and I will see you guys next time. All right, with love and happy Friday.